Greetings gamers, welcome to part number 43 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn, and in today's episode I have to deal with Duke Culbert's forces, including Sergei and his silver bow, and Alencia's forces and her most likely unintelligent move of moving up this hill at some point. Never understood why they don't just stay still, but whatever. So, with that being said, I don't think I have... I think I only have one thing to steal, which would be this physic. Routing enemy. Okay. So this is going to be a little interesting. I want to say the best way to go about this chapter right now is to hang back as much as possible so that I can get the movement of all four adjacent units to Racing, which just seems like a smart idea, and that was a fantastically beautiful level up. And again, let's check Heather's wonderful movement. 4, 5, 6, 7. She can move there. So I'm guessing that would be a perfect spot to put Har. It's actually kind of crazy that an axe wielder would be able to hit Ike when he has a sword equipped. It's kind of, interesting. Mist being promoted is definitely showing some pretty good wonders here, because early game Mist is woefully inept when it comes to combat, and here she is just attacking with the best of them, doing basically everything that my other units would be doing at this current moment, which is insane. Definitely don't want Racing to be attacked, which is possible because of all of the flyers around here. I don't think any of these guys move whatsoever. But the flyers, I mean, very unlikely that they do not move. So, man, I don't know if that was necessarily a good idea there. Let's use a crossbow, finish you off. Shinon and Titania can deal with all of the party down here. It actually would be really nice if Titania was up north, because she does have pass. Then again, I do believe that good old Har has pass, and he's not close enough to reach anyway, so that matters literally zero. Ah, that kind of stinks. The only thing I can do here is I can go ahead and attack you. I guess I'll leave Har here for the time being. Mend up Ike. And then I think I'll put you three here. Of course, this guy can reach, man. This guy can reach Racing regardless, no matter what, and I don't particularly like that. I don't know what in the world Ranoff is going to do, but, I mean, likely nothing, right? Alencia just keeps getting attacked. Titania and Shinon have quite a mass of enemies to the south to deal with. This chapter is fun. I do like it. I just don't like the story behind it per se, because some of it's just nonsensical. That's the problem with Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, is it almost feels like a whole different team wrote these games compared to the GBA, and, well, obviously, definitely compared to the SNES games. You just are left wanting for a better story. It's actually one of the reasons why I'm so against modern Fire Emblem. A lot of people will say, well, that's just, old school elitism. No, I like a lot of modern games. I enjoy a lot of modern games. I play a lot of modern games. But Fire Emblem is not one of those that I do. And the reason being is because Fire Emblem has changed. It has become something it is not. And I don't care what anybody says or how anybody tries to argue that that isn't the case. It is most definitely the case. The game has changed. The writing has changed, the story has changed, the motives have changed. Then you have things like modern political nonsense coming into my games. Please get the heck out of here. I have zero tolerance for that in any franchise. It's one of the big reasons why I don't watch TV. I find any kind of commercial about elected officials or anything of that nature to be absolutely repugnant and disgusting beyond all reason. So I find a lot of modern Fire Emblem to be egregious, and it's a shame too, because when Three Houses came out, I enjoyed the heck out of that game. But the more I played it, the more I realized, wait a minute, there's some kind of nonsensical things behind this. The story is really, really poor, and the game it feels incredibly rushed. But I love what you can do in Three Houses concerning the whole training your units however you particularly want, and making them whatever you want, and that there's so many different busted avenues that change that game, and it's still busted. It's still busted. You can bust that game wide open. A game like Path of Radiance or any of the Fire Emblem games that focuses on stuff like balance is really missing the point. You are playing a single player RPG. Balance should not be the status quo, like the number one, the thing that everybody is most, most paying attention to. That's just not, it doesn't make any sense to me. And the problem is that the way that the games are going, you would almost half expect that that's just all that you're going to receive anymore. And it's unfortunate that there's so many different changes to the game that I just don't appreciate. Changes to the story, changes to the narrative. Probably the biggest, most ridiculous thing that I can't stand in modern Fire Emblem is the whole need for having an avatar unit. I'll never get it. People can say what they want. I just will never get it. It's impossible for me to get. It doesn't give me joy. It's not something I appreciate. It's not something I want in my Fire Emblem game. And it's one of the major reasons why I actually don't really care all too much for Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn's main lord being Ike, because Ike is supposed to be almost such a bland character that it's almost as if he's a self-insert, and that's insanity to me, because the problem with that is that this isn't a self-insert game. So why is that the case? And then there's also some pretty outlandish things that this game is underhandedly imposing and insinuating that I don't agree with. It's not possible for me to agree with it. And it's stuff like that that just makes me go, well, Fire Emblem could be doing better. In fact, Fire Emblem could be doing so much better, it hurts. Because the franchise itself has some pretty exceptionally fantastic entries in it, from old even to new. Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, is one of the best Fire Emblem games that has come out in the past 10, 15, 20 years. I would say it's better than Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn. It's better than any of the GBA games. And not because it is the most well-designed or anything like that, but because it does everything a modern Fire Emblem game should be doing, and it does it right. good voice acting, staying true to Fire Emblem's roots. Obviously, it's going to do that because it's a remake. And not doing the whole avatar thing, self-inserts, not being too egregious. Granted, there is one thing about that game that I particularly find offensive, and that is the fact that the DLC for that game was more expensive than the game itself. Granted, that's not really a thing anymore, because since the whole eShop thing has been shuttered for the DS and the 3DS and all that, you can't actually buy the DLC for that game anymore, so that's a moot point. But I spent the whole 9 yards on that game back when it came out, and was expecting more, hoping for more, didn't get more, and definitely don't appreciate the price of it, and the fact that it's lost to the past. The only way that you can play games like Echoes, brand spanking new with all of its DLC, is if you do go through some nefarious means. And I don't even mean nefarious as in bad. I mean nefarious as in you have to go through these means like emulation that people don't particularly like or enjoy or think is no good. And I actually kind of agree. I fully understand that, because the fact of the matter is that, like, I would rather just play my games whenever I want on whatever I want, you know, whatever Nintendo console. It's one of the reasons why I do like stuff like the virtual console for the Wii and the Wii U. Those were great additions, but they're not here anymore, and especially for the Wii. So you have to basically go into getting something that is just not, it's no longer a thing. And I find that to be really weird and unfortunate. I wish that Fire Emblem would get back to its roots, but I will say this. Everybody's talking about the possibility of a remake for the Jug Droll games or Path of Radiance, the Tellius games in general. I want to be very honest. I don't even want to see that. I really don't. Because those games are going to be horrid. And you can pretty much bet all the money you possess that that's going to be the case. And it's not Gamerman being ridiculous here. They're going to have self-inserts. They're going to have changed story. They're going to have animeification. They're going to have everything that is not necessarily Fire Emblem in a Fire Emblem game. And it's why I don't really care. This game, this franchise was built around the idea of having a war sim that is romanticized medieval Europe. And I know I say it a lot, but it's worth repeating. It really is worth repeating. So when you have these games changing that formula, and then people saying, well, they gotta change, you know, gotta evolve with the times and blah 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 blah. No, nobody would be okay with Dark Souls changing and becoming a RTS or some, you know, pansy infested easy mode whatever. Nobody would be okay with that. Why is everybody okay with these beloved franchises being bastardized? Commander, our force is taking heavy losses. Defeat is imminent. Even our strike force cannot keep the enemy at bay. Please, you must escape. I've been defeated? Me? By worthless rebel like this? Blast that Zelgius. How dare he not assist me? I'll have his pompous head for this. Yeah, but that's pretty much my rant for the episode. I have a lot of unfortunate beliefs about Fire Emblem as a whole. And the reason why I have those beliefs is because things are changing in ways that they should never have. And I wish it just wasn't the case. Luckily for me, concerning this chapter, I'm just about done. And what's cool is I'm basically going to be getting all of the experience points to myself, as well as I'm going to have the ability to steal that physic. So the reason why I put Heather there was obviously so that he would attack with the light. I don't really care for the fact that this game forces items to be equipped on you. Like staves, I know that there is times where that's a benefit. There are actually times where that's a benefit in this game, but the further... Well, I can't even finish this chapter this turn, that's funny. Well, actually, I might be able to. Yes. The more I play games like Thracia, the more I am reminded and realize that stuff like Path of Radiance doesn't have to necessarily be this way. Alright. That's not even a KO if I crit there. That's actually kind of sad. Well, how about you? I can attack you.
Fools, how dare you fight my master? He is Senator Valtome, Duke of Culbert, die in his name.
I wasn't really wanting a crit there, but whatever. Probably shouldn't have used the killer axe then, right? Either way, it's not like the level was wasted. Especially because Har is getting very close to his maximum stats. What's crazy to me is that I am only a couple of chapters away from Part 3 being completed. For a little while there, especially the last several chapters, I've been saying things along the lines of, well, nowhere near close to the finish of Part 3. That's not true. I believe there's 2 chapters after this. And that's all there is. Good job, Mist. That is the enemy forces routed and a level for good old Mist. A pretty fantastic one. Granted, would love strength, but you can't be picky when you get that many stats in a level, right? Phew, Begnion's finally given up. That took some doing. Tell me about it. But we did get some good information out of all of this. Now we know for certain that there are serious leadership problems in the Imperial Army. I'm glad General Zelgius was honorable enough to withdraw. If the full strength of the 2 armies had clashed, Elincia's effort would have been wasted.
Sir Ike, Sir Renoff, thank you for helping us save Queen Elincia.
Geoffrey, I'm really surprised you let Elincia do such a dangerous thing. You must be more relaxed these days.
It wasn't easy for me, as you could guess, but I can never really say no to Queen Elincia. What choice did we have anyway?
You didn't have any, and you all did what needed to be done. I'm really impressed. Crimea has become quite strong.
Don't talk like such a stranger. The Grail mercenaries are also from Crimea. You're part of that strength.
True. I'm very proud of my homeland.
Let's go see Her Majesty. You do have time to speak with her, right?
I shall now dispense with your punishment for disobeying my orders. General Zelgius, do you have anything to say? I would hear your pleas now.
I am prepared to face the consequences of my actions.
Quite an admirable sentiment, General. Although I imagine you should have thought about the consequences before you abandoned your allies. Now, on your knees, it's time for your execution. Goodbye, General Zelgius.
What? Senator, I must ask you to reconsider. To execute a man of General Zelgius' caliber without a trial, it's madness. It's horrible.
Levale, are you questioning a senator? A senator holds the right to punish a prisoner however he sees fit. Oh, I'll make sure to tell our people that the general was cut down in battle after felling hundreds of subhumans. That way the people will not trouble themselves over details that they couldn't possibly understand.
You would bury the truth? Do you think the apostle is as easily fooled by your lies?
Oh, I sincerely doubt the apostle would ever get to hear them. All right, I've waited long enough. Your wait is over as well, Zelgius. Execute him. Don't worry, Zelgius. I'll make sure that your lands are looked after. They'll be mine, of course. What?
Silence, Valtome. All soldiers loyal to Begnion are to stand down immediately. Hello, Senator Valtome.
You're the one of the Holy Guards.
The Apostle will be here shortly. Soldiers, sheathe your weapons and kneel before the Apostle.
What? No, it's impossible.
It's her, there can be no doubt about it. It's the Apostle. The Apostle is here.
My soldiers, I apologize for my sudden disappearance. I am here today to explain things, and to bring you news from home that is of the utmost importance. My soldiers, listen to me carefully. I never wished for this war. It was started by those who wanted me dead. It was spurred on by their desire to rule Begnion for themselves. This war was the work of the Senate and was organized by Vice Minister Lacane of Gatos.
The Senate wished harm upon the Apostle?
No, impossible. How can that be?
Lies! She lies! Do not be tricked, proud soldiers of Begnion. She is not the true Apostle.
I see. Then we are not her real holy guards? Is that what you are trying to say?
No, this is a farce. You cannot trick us. You are using a fake Apostle to disable the Senate and take over Begnion. Men, we must act. The vile Sephiran is their leader. The fact that he has been put in chains is our proof.
I will not allow you to disgrace my master's good name. One more syllable, and I shall snap your neck, Valtome. Apostle, words cannot express how good it is to see you alive and well. We have been awaiting your return.
Thank you, General Zelgius. You and I have much to discuss.
Beautiful amount of experience points. That's insanity. 13,549 total. I appreciate that kind of experience points.
Apostle Soniki arrives without warning at the Central Army's main camp in Crimea. With a strength born of conviction, she exposes the senator's vile plot to undermine and usurp her. Valtome counterattacks with a claim crafted by the Senate that the Apostle is a fraud who, along with her Prime Minister, Sephirin, is attempting to deceive all of Begnion and lead them away from the goddess's graces. To the citizens of Begnion, the senators are chosen by the goddess and are worthy of the same respect given to the Apostle. As for the Apostle, her image is tarnished when the Senate imprisons Prime Minister Sephirin in her name. An ever-growing number of Begnion's citizens are willing to believe the senator's claim that the Apostle is an agent of evil trying to deceive them. So it is that the Central Army is divided. One camp believes in the Apostle, and the other supports the Senate. This new turmoil fans the flames of chaos into a mighty conflagration burning across Tellius.
Chapter 11, Just Cause. Castle Crimea.
Thank you for coming today, everyone. I am in your debt, all of you. The King of Gallia, Canegus. The King of Phoenicius, Tibarn. The Cernus royal family, Raphael and Racin. And the Queen of Crimea, Elincia, who worked tirelessly to arrange this meeting, and generously extended her hospitality. She gave me hope when I was driven out of my country, and offered aid when all seemed lost. You have my sincere gratitude. Before we begin, allow me to make a few things clear about the recent war between Bjork, Begnion, and the Leguse Alliance. When we received your letter stating that the Senate had made scapegoats of the Hurons for the previous apostle's assassination, Prime Minister Sephiran and I decided to investigate the Senate and prosecute them if needed. Then the senators made their move.
What did they do?
They imprisoned me in a room in the Maenal Cathedral. They then forged an arrest warrant for Sephiran and jailed him. I admit there had been major rifts between myself and the senators in the past. However, I had no idea that they would stoop to such deplorable acts. I should have known. This is all my fault.
We didn't think you were behind all this warmongering. What you just told us confirmed what we had guessed.
I have been forced to flee my country, but that doesn't change the fact that I am the Empress of Begnion. I will not allow the Senate to declare me false, nor will I stand by as they seize and ravage Begnion. I must return to my country, save my people, and take back my birthright. To accomplish all this, I would like to form an alliance with the Leguse tribes. Help me save Begnion.
I will accept, if you agree to a few conditions. First, the immediate and total emancipation of any Leguse remaining in slavery. Second, that new diplomatic relations between our peoples start with a clean slate. No bias against Bjork or Leguse shall be tolerated. Lastly, a full alliance between our countries to further solidify this agreement. If you agree to these terms, I give my support. I hope that at long last, the dream that both King Raymond and I held can come to fruition.
I agree with King Kanagas completely. If these conditions are agreed to, Crimea would like to join this alliance as well.
Do you intend to return the Serenus Forest to the Hurons when you take back the throne?
Of course. The goddess loved the forest, because the Hurons made their homes there. I will see to it that you can return home.
My brother, we can finally go home. Our family can be together again, in our own homeland, for the first time in decades. All right, I'm all for this. I don't need much convincing, though. I just want to rip those idiot senators in half.
Gallia, Phoenicia, Serenus, and Crimea shall hereby make a pledge. Apostle Sanaki, we will wholeheartedly support your effort to return to the throne, so long as we stand united in our ideals. Please bring peace back to our lands. Each of you has my deepest gratitude. I swear I will accomplish that goal.
So, it sounds like everyone is on the same side now. That's the best news I've heard in a long time.
I feel the same, but it's too early to celebrate. I will not be happy until I take back my country. How we fare in the battles to come will be of the utmost importance.
The Grail mercenaries would be glad to help. I know that we're a small unit, but we'll do our best to see the job done right.
I certainly hope you will, especially since I've decided to make you the commander of our combined forces.
Wait, hold on there. What did you say? Listen, Apostle Sanaki, I'm really flattered, but General Zelgius is much more
Zelgius returned to the Empire by himself to rescue Prime Minister Sephiran. Our army consists of the troops he left behind, as well as the armies of Crimea, Gallia, and Phoenicius. Ike, you're probably the only person on the face of Tellius who commands respect from all 4 countries represented here.
Ike, I know you're not happy about this, but you're the only person who can bridge the rift between the Leguse and Bjork. No, I'm not happy about it. I thought my days of being a general ended 3 years ago. But I won't refuse. If you think I'm the only person who can pull this off, then I'll do my best not to let you down.
Thank you, Ike. Let us go and meet with the armies and the soldiers you will be leading. They will want to meet their new commander.
Not again. All right, info time. I'm here. What do you want?
Huh. Don't look so sour.
I always look like this, Apostle Sanaki.
Ah, yes, that's true. Well, I didn't summon you to talk about your grumpy expressions. I wanted to give you something before we set off for the battle.
What is it?
Do you know what this is?
Not a clue.
When I fled the cathedral, I took some valuables with me. This is called a Master Crown. It's said to release a Bjork's hidden power.
I've never heard of it.
Not everyone can use it, so think before you pass it on to someone.
All right, I'll take it. Thank you. If I needed that, that would be great.
General Ike, thank you for helping the Apostle. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
I would have refused if I'd known that I'd be commanding the entire army.
That's why we didn't tell you beforehand.
That's a pretty devious move, Sigrun.
Here are some funds, so you can properly prepare for the upcoming battle. Show us how you've grown since the days of the Mad King's War, General.
20,000 gold. Hey, I appreciate some money. Some good old moolah. Rah! Hi-ya! Ha! Hi-ya! Ah! You really push yourself in training, don't you, Kyran? Huh? Oh, Oscar, you snuck up on me. Only a true rival of mine can accomplish such a feat. I've been watching for half an hour. What? Then why didn't you say hello? And I would have expected better manners. I did, you didn't notice. Ah, yes, my concentration while training is unbreakable. No one can distract me. I wonder if he realizes that he contradicts everything he says. What was that? If you have something to say, let it out. Speak like a man. Stand tall. Yes, whatever you say. Here, I got this for you. What is it? This is an imbue scroll. Imbue is a skill you should learn, especially since you always train until you're soaked in your own blood. I've never heard of such a skill. Is it special? Oh yes, very special. Why would you give me such a precious thing to me? Well, I just told you. I cannot accept it. I accept no charity from rivals. Why do you have to be like this? We are equals. I need no favors from you. Run along now. I don't have time to talk to you. I'm busy training. Go on, leave. It was meant as a symbol of friendship for my lifelong rival. What? But I guess if you won't accept it, I'll find someone else who will. Wait, I'll take it. You'd swallow your own words? Never. However, I note that your lifelong rival is me, and no one else. If your gift will mark me as your lifelong rival, I must have it. That's what I like about you, Sir Simpleton. You insult me. No, that was a compliment. You're a very simple knight, living only for battle and whatnot. Great, thanks. Life is boring without you, Kyran. And an imbue scroll, I appreciate that. I have a boatload of things to do to take care of for this upcoming battle, upcoming chapter, with all the info taken care of. Actually, there is a unit that does actually need that Master Crown, now that I think about it. Very good observation there, Gamer Man. But yes, this is going to be the end of this episode. Part 43 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn has come to an abrupt and wonderful end. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.